My name is Jonathan Pierce. I'm a detective. Most cases start with a call. This one started with the station. It was midnight. The city was quiet. Fog curling between street lamps. The station was empty, except for the hum of the fluorescent lights. The dispatcher said a train would arrive at platform 3 at 23:45. I waited. Minutes passed. Nothing came. The station clock ticked slowly. The wind outside rattled the roof. Then the sound. A train. Far off. Fading in and out. I walked toward the platform. Footsteps echoing. The lights above flickered. The train appeared. Single carriage. Doors closed. Windows dark. No passengers. No driver. Just a train waiting. I stepped closer. The lights inside the carriage glowed faintly. Warm. Inviting. I pressed my hand on the metal. Cold. Too cold. The doors opened. Slow. Perfectly aligned with my step. I stepped inside. The interior was pristine. Seats polished. Floor spotless. No signs of wear. The air smelled faintly like iron and old paper. A clock above the doors ticked. Not counting forward. Backward. 00:00. 23:59. 23:58. I frowned. Then the train moved. Smooth. No sound from the rails. I walked down the aisle. No passengers. No luggage. Just empty seats. But then I noticed it. Footsteps. Behind me. Soft. Slow. I turned. No one there. I kept walking. The footsteps followed. Step for step. Then I reached the last carriage. The lights were dimmer. Shadows moved against the walls. A figure appeared. Sitting in the seat. Face turned away. I raised my flashlight. Beam landed on the figure. It wasn't moving. The suit it wore looked old. The hair gray. Hands resting on knees. Then the head turned. Slowly. Too slowly. No eyes. Just smooth skin. And the mouth, moving. Whispering words I couldn't hear. I stepped back. The train hummed. Not electric. Not mechanical. Something deeper. Something alive. I turned to leave. The aisle stretched longer than it should. Seats multiplying. Windows stretching into darkness. The doors, the ones I entered through, gone. Only the figure staring. I swallowed. Footsteps behind me. Not mine. Not the figure's. I ran. Aisle after aisle. No end. The figure didn't move. It only whispered. You came for the last train. The lights flickered. Then went out. Total darkness. The hum filled my ears. Then the train stopped. I froze. A single carriage door opened. Outside, night. Fog. Street lamps. Empty platform. I stepped out. The train vanished. No tracks. No sound. Nothing. Only the echo of a whisper. We're still waiting. I woke up on the platform. Empty. Fog curling low. The station clock read 0:15. The train was gone. Like it had never existed. I rubbed my eyes. Tried to convince myself it was a hallucination. Then I heard it. Footsteps echoing across the tiles. I turned. A figure stood at the far end of the platform. A woman. Her hair long, dark, wet. Face pale. Eyes hollow. She didn't move toward me. Just stared. I took a step. She did the same. A perfect mirror. The sound of the train approached again. No rails. No whistle. Just the low hum, growing louder. The woman stepped into the shadows. I hesitated. Then the doors opened. Same carriage. I stepped inside. It was colder than before. The seats were empty. The lights flickered. I walked down the aisle. Then I saw them. Passengers. Sitting in the seats. Familiar faces. Dead. Or at least, they should have been. One was a man I had investigated last year. He died in a fire. Another, a woman who vanished on a hiking trail months ago. All looking at me. Blank faces. Eyes that reflected nothing. The whispers started again. Soft, overlapping, like many voices speaking one sentence. You shouldn't be here. I backed away. The train didn't stop. The aisle seemed to stretch endlessly. I ran. Past rows of empty seats. Past the dead passengers. Always hearing footsteps behind me. Then I reached the last carriage. The same figure, faceless, whispering. Its mouth moved. Soundless words. I pressed my hand against the wall. It felt soft. Like skin. The lights flickered. Then went out. I was swallowed by darkness. The hum vibrating through my chest. And then, the train stopped. Abruptly. Doors opened. Platform. Fog. Empty, silent. I stepped out. The station was normal again. People walking past. Announcements over the speakers. Coffee shops open. But no one looked at me. Not a single person. The hum lingered. Deep. Low. Below the platform. And somewhere, just barely audible, a whisper. We never leave. The train arrived again. No schedule. No whistle. Just the low hum. I hesitated on the platform. Then the doors opened. Same warm glow inside. I stepped in. The passengers were different this time. Some I recognized. Some I didn't. All staring at me. The man from the fire. The woman from the hiking trail. And a child I had seen once. Lost years ago in a playground. They didn't blink. They didn't speak. Only stared. I walked down the aisle. The lights flickered. Shadows stretched across the walls. Then I noticed something. Events playing out before me. Passengers acting. Things I knew hadn't happened yet. The man from the fire picked up a briefcase. He opened it. Inside, my badge. My notebook. Everything I carried with me. The woman from the trail looked at me. Smiled. Then her expression froze. Like a photograph. The child pointed down the aisle. I looked. Another figure stood there. Tall. Faceless. Whispering. You shouldn't see this. The train hummed louder. The aisle stretched further. Seats multiplying. I turned to leave. The doors gone. The walls shifting. The passengers moved too. Slowly. Following. Step by step. I ran. Aisle after aisle. No end in sight. The figure reached out. A hand, smooth and pale. Almost touching me. The lights flickered. And the world outside the carriage vanished. When the lights returned, I was back on the platform. Empty. Fog curling low. The clock wrong. 23:47. Time had reversed. The hum lingered. Below the station. Low. Mechanical. I realized something. The train didn't just move through space. It moved through time. And the passengers. They weren't waiting for the next stop. They were waiting for me. I walked toward the tracks. The fog thickened. The wind whispered. The train would come again. And I would be inside. The passengers watching. The faceless figure waiting. Because the last train never arrives. It only collects. The train arrived again. I was waiting this time. Platform empty. Fog curling low. Wind sharp in my ears. Doors opened. Warm light inside. I stepped in. The aisles stretched longer than ever. Seats multiplied. Passengers sat silently. The man from the fire. The woman from the trail. The child from the playground. And new faces. Strangers. Watching me. I realized they were all waiting for something. Not for a destination. For me. I walked slowly down the aisle. The faceless figure appeared. Standing in the last carriage. The whispers started. You can't leave. I tried the doors. Locked. No button. No panel. Just walls. The lights flickered. Aisles stretched longer. Passengers' eyes following me. Blank. Empty. I ran. Step after step. Aisle never ending. The faceless figure moved closer. Hand reaching. Air thick, heavy. The passengers murmured now. Low, overlapping voices. Not words. Just a hum. A song of waiting. I turned a corner. Saw something new. A luggage rack. A single suitcase. Opened. Inside, my personal files. Notes. Evidence. Photos of unsolved cases. Everything I had ever carried. The hum grew louder. The figure whispered. Everything you bring stays. The walls vibrated. The train wasn't just moving. It was changing reality. I backed away. Every step I took, the passengers mirrored. Every turn mirrored. Every breath echoed. I stumbled into a carriage. The faceless figure there. Closer now. The hum vibrating through my bones. Then a voice, my own, but wrong. There is no exit. The train stopped. Doors opened. Platform. Fog. Clock, 23:42. Time reversed again. I was outside. But I heard footsteps behind me. Not mine. Not normal. I looked back. Empty platform. But the hum remained. Low, constant. Somewhere below. Mechanical. Living. And I knew. No matter what I did. The train would come again. And I would step inside. Again. Because the last train never arrives. It only waits. The train arrived again. I didn't run this time. I waited. Doors opened. Warm light spilling into the fog. I stepped inside. The aisles stretched endlessly. Passengers everywhere. All staring. Blank eyes. Faces frozen in expectation. The faceless figure stood in the last carriage. Hand outstretched. Whispers filling the air. It's time. I walked down the aisle. The passengers mirrored every step I took. Every breath. Every heartbeat. I reached the last carriage. The figure turned its head. Slow. Deliberate. The whispers became words. My own voice twisted. No one leaves. Everyone stays. I looked around. The seats were filled with every person I had ever investigated. Dead or missing. They all stared. Silent. Waiting. The luggage racks held my belongings. Evidence. Notes. Photos. Everything I carried. Absorbed into the train. The hum grew louder. The walls vibrated. Reality stretched and bent. I understood. The train didn't run on tracks. It ran on time. On lives. On memory. Every person who entered became part of it. I tried the doors. Locked. The aisle stretched further. The hum vibrating through my chest. The faceless figure whispered again. Welcome back, Jonathan Pierce. You never left. I realized. Every time I thought I escaped, I returned here. Every platform. Every foggy station. Every reverse clock. The train waits. It always waits. I looked at the passengers. Their faces familiar. Their eyes hollow. And I saw myself. Sitting in a seat. Watching me. Then the lights flickered. The hum grew into a roar. The train moved. I could not run. I could not escape. I was inside now. Forever. The last train never arrives. It only collects. And I am part of it.